The 1970s saw the rise of a new breed of criminal, the Colombian cocaine kingpin. These ruthless entrepreneurs, like Pablo Escobar of the Medellin Cartel, built vast empires on the insatiable appetite for cocaine in the United States. Escobar, a former car thief, rose to become one of the world's richest men by flooding America with his product. The Medellin Cartel, with its private armies and networks of corruption, became a state within a state capable of challenging the Colombian government itself. The Colombian cartels had a problem geography. They were thousands of miles from their main market. They needed a way to get their product into the United States, and they found willing partners in Mexico. Mexican smugglers had a long history of moving marijuana north, but cocaine was a far more lucrative opportunity. A new era in the drug trade was about to begin. In the heart of Mexico, a new cartel was emerging in the state of Sinaloa. The Guadalajara cartel, led by Miguel Angel Felix Gallardo, was quick to see the potential of partnering with the Colombians. Gallardo, known as El Padrino, the Godfather, was a shrewd businessman who understood the importance of logistics and connections. He forged alliances with corrupt Mexican officials, ensuring the smooth transit of cocaine through Mexico. The Guadalajara cartel, under Gallardo's leadership, became a crucial link in the cocaine pipeline. They took delivery of shipments from the Colombians and used their established networks to move the drugs north to the United States. The profits were enormous, fueling corruption and violence on an unprecedented scale. In the 1980s, the United States declared a war on drugs. Pouring resources into law enforcement and interdiction efforts, the U.S. Coast Guard stepped up patrols in the Caribbean, attempting to intercept cocaine shipments at sea. The DEA and other agencies increased their pressure on the Colombian cartels. While these efforts had some success, they also had an unintended consequence, pushing the traffickers to find new routes. Mexico, with its long, porous border with the United States, became the logical alternative. The crackdown on the Caribbean routes only benefited the Mexican traffickers, solidifying their position as indispensable partners to the Colombians. The Guadalajara cartel, perfectly positioned to exploit this shift, grew even wealthier and more powerful. The Guadalajara cartel, under Gallardo's leadership, entered a golden age. They were moving tons of cocaine into the United States, generating billions of dollars in profit. Gallardo, a master manipulator, cultivated relationships with politicians, police commanders, and even elements of the Mexican intelligence services. He ensured that his organization operated with virtual impunity. However, the immense wealth and power of the Guadalajara cartel also sowed the seeds of its own destruction. Internal rivalries began to emerge, with lieutenants vying for control of the most lucrative smuggling routes. The cartel's empire, while vast, was built on fragile foundations of loyalty and self-interest. It was only a matter of time before it fractured. Section 5. Fragmentation and the Rise of El Chapo. In 1989, the arrest of Miguel Angel Felix Gallardo sent shockwaves through the Mexican underworld. Gallardo, the strategic mastermind of the Guadalajara cartel, had been captured. His arrest, a major victory for law enforcement, also triggered a seismic shift in the drug trade. With Gallardo gone, the Guadalajara cartel splintered into rival factions, each vying for control of the lucrative cocaine trade. One of these factions was the Sinaloa Cartel, led by a former farmer named Joaquin El Chapo Guzman. Guzman, known for his ruthlessness and business acumen, quickly consolidated his power in Sinaloa and beyond. He forged alliances with Colombian suppliers and expanded his operations into new territories. El Chapo was determined to make the Sinaloa Cartel the most powerful criminal organization in Mexico. Section 6. El Chapo's daring escapes. El Chapo's rise to power was marked by violence and bloodshed. He waged war on rival cartels, turning cities like Ciudad Juarez into battlegrounds. He bribed politicians and law enforcement officials, ensuring the Sinaloa cartel's continued dominance. But El Chapo's notoriety reached new heights with his audacious escapes from prison. In 2001, El Chapo bribed his way out of a maximum security prison in Mexico, reportedly hiding in a laundry cart. He spent the next 13 years on the run, consolidating his power and becoming a legendary figure in the drug trade. His recapture in 2014 was hailed as a major victory, but El Chapo had one more trick up his sleeve. In 2015, he escaped again, this time through a sophisticated tunnel dug into his prison cell. Section 7. The Sinaloa Cartel's iron grip. Despite El Chapo's eventual recapture and extradition to the United States, the Sinaloa Cartel remained a formidable force. The cartel, under the leadership of El Chapo's sons and other lieutenants, continued to control key drug trafficking routes into the United States. They diversified their operations, moving heroin, methamphetamine and fentanyl in addition to cocaine. The Sinaloa Cartel's resilience stemmed from its deep roots in Mexican society. They operated with the complicity of corrupt officials, intimidated local populations, and cultivated a Robin Hood image in some quarters. Their vast wealth and influence made them virtually untouchable despite the efforts of law enforcement. Section 8. Fueling the opioid crisis. The Sinaloa Cartel played a pivotal role in the devastating opioid crisis that gripped the United States. They recognized the growing demand for heroin and synthetic opioids like fentanyl, and they were quick to capitalize on it. The cartel flooded American streets with these deadly drugs, fueling addiction and death on an unprecedented scale. The Sinaloa Cartel's role in the opioid crisis highlighted the devastating consequences of the global drug trade. Their pursuit of profit came at the expense of countless lives lost to addiction and overdose. The cartel's activities had far-reaching implications, impacting not only Mexico, but also the United States and beyond. Section 9. The Never-Ending War. The story of the Mexican drug cartels is a tragic tale of violence, corruption, and human suffering. The so-called war on drugs has failed to stem the flow of narcotics into the United States, and it has had devastating consequences for Mexico. The cartels have grown increasingly powerful, challenging the authority of the state and terrorizing local populations. The Mexican government's efforts to combat the cartels have been met with mixed results. Military operations have led to the capture or killing of some high-level traffickers, but they have also resulted in widespread human rights abuses. Corruption remains endemic, with cartels infiltrating all levels of government and law enforcement. The cycle of violence and impunity continues. Section 10. A legacy of violence and corruption. The rise of the Mexican drug cartels is a stark reminder of the unintended consequences of prohibition. The insatiable demand for drugs in the United States, coupled with the vast profits to be made from trafficking, created a powerful incentive for criminal organizations to flourish. The cartels, with their brutality and corruption, have left an indelible mark on Mexican society. The future remains uncertain. The cartels, while weakened by internal divisions and law enforcement pressure, continue to adapt and evolve. They have diversified their operations, expanded into new territories, and exploited new technologies. The fight against them is far from over, and it will require a multifaceted approach that addresses the root causes of drug trafficking, including poverty, corruption, and demand.
So hit that subscribe button, ring the bell for notifications, and let's turn the page on a new adventure together. Get ready to experience books like never before, only on VBook 360. Like, comment, and share to support the channel and keep the video magic alive. Thank you for stopping by. And remember, every video has a story, and every story deserves to be shared. See you in the next video.